interior start, and I'm going to open my rendering dialog, and let's just hit render and see what we get. So as you see, we get only sunlight, but no GI. And now let's go and select our light here. As you can see, it's been set up to Sky Portal, and it's been simple, so it doesn't have a light lister. Oops, we need to enable our Sky Portals. So you can see they all instanced, but we are not able to change their multiplier because they've been set up to Sky Portal mode. Alright, and we're just using V-Ray Sun right here. If we check our GI pass, we won't be able to see anything. So let's open our settings here and increase the shading quality. Go back to our RGB and let's hit render and see what we get now. So you can already see that the Sky Portal starts to work and they fill up this whole room with the light. Now let's increase the AA quality to get it a little bit cleaner. You can see how the light that those Sky Portals produce becomes very clean due to AA filter that's been increased to have a little bit better quality. But same here, we don't get GI because it's still being enabled here. I just want to show you how the Sky Portals work and their contribution to the interior space. Alright, now I'm gonna go and enable my GI here. So I'm gonna put brute force and light cache and hit render. Alright, and the render was done pretty quick. We can see that it's working pretty fast, but we still have some grain here. So let's increase our GI quality 25% and hit render. You can see the GI becomes a little bit cleaner. Alright, so this took a little bit longer, but we can see that the GI was improved, and increasing the GI quality will not give us better GI. You can see that it's kind of sluggish here, a lot of noise, because the brute force does all the job and the shading quality also. So you can try balancing that out by putting lowering the shading to about 50 and increasing the samples here to 32 and giving it a try, but it's going to increase a lot of rendering times and not really clean up the whole noise. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch to irradiance map and light cache, take down my GI, set up the shading to 9, AA to 16, and render my image and see how we can improve GI. Alright, so we got this pretty fast in 34 seconds, but the GI is very blotchy. We get a lot of artifacts here. So let's go and try to fix our GI by doing regions of that clock right here. And before that, I'm also going to save my image here. And now let's increase GI to 50 and render. Let's save that too. Load this into A, load this into B, go to GI, and see that we're getting a little bit better GI, less blotchy, but way more detailed than we had before. We can see that here on those books. So let's increase it a bit more. I'm gonna put it to 75 and hit render. And now let's save this too and load it into A so we can see how the GI works. So we can see that we're getting much better detail on the GI with the 75. Everything on the clock starts to appear. And now let's increase it even higher and hit render. See if we can get it really nice and clean. Alright, so let's save it. So it took a little longer, 20 seconds in compared to 13. But let's load this into A and let's load the previous one into B and go into our GI pass and see. So we don't see much of a big change, but a little bit better detail on those little spots here, especially the 1 and the 2. We can see that it's lacking here, and here it's getting more pronounced and more accurate. Alright, so now let's keep testing. Let's put the shading a little bit higher, 25, and the AA to 32, and render this again. So now we can see the image comes out very clean. Let's save it, load it into A, and have our previous loaded into B. Check the GI quality. So you can see we're not getting change on the GI, but we're getting much better quality on the lighting. Alright, so we got to remove that grain, and image looks very much grain free thanks to our AA filter increasement and also the shading quality, which helps the brute force to get rid of the noise. You can see the RGB doesn't have that grain which we used to have in the previous one with the lower AA and the shading quality. But in general, everything is looking here pretty nice and clean. So I'm gonna open my rendering dialog and switch off the override material, take off the region, and let's render, because those are going to be our final production clean rendering settings without any noise. So let's see how this works.